Hey, bonjour, bonjour, fragrance lovers. Welcome back to my channel. Anyway, today we're going to part 2 of underrated fragrances. I like this video because it gives me the occasion to talk about fragrances that I do really like, but that are not that popular, so it's quite nice. All for ladies today, so let's go. First underrated fragrance was quite a fragrance that, you know, I think had its popularity or something, but I don't see it that much everywhere and I really love it. So it's Narciso Rodriguez and it's called the Eau de Parfum Poudrée. This tiny little thing, so cute. Personally adore Narciso Rodriguez because they have their signature scent, which is musky tone. It gives like an intense powdery. It feels like a bit cloudy when you wear it and cotton-like and always like quite clean and sensual. This one, oh my god, don't expect something powdery and delicate. It's not delicate. This is overpowering. It gives personality. It's very tough. I remember gifting it to my mom. She loved it. It gives so much personality. Very intense rose tone, but it's got a lot of brightness with orange blossom who will give like brightness and luminosity. Very warm, and that's nearly vanilla like. Interesting because you get something sweet but not sweet, and floral but not floral, so it's really interesting scent, and this is usually the case with any Narciso Rodriguez. You'll get something very creative, and I feel with this, like if you like musky, if you want sensuality, beautiful. And seeing the feedback I had from me and my mom, we all agreed that the longevity was absolutely amazing. It leaves an intense sillage all around you and is beautiful. Number 2 is a fragrance that nobody tends to really like, but I do love it. Okay, so first of all, it reminds me of my first internship in perfumery in Sephora, because I was working for them. So I was there to promote the launch of this beauty, and it's called Repetto, the eau de toilette. So I insist on that. There's the eau de parfum and a lot of interpretation, but I have a crush on the first one, on the eau de toilette. I know that everybody prefers the eau de parfum, but for me the toilette is so beautiful. I like it because it really shows the personality of the house of Repetto. So if you don't know Repetto, they are doing like clothes and shoes for ballet dancing. I used to have some ballerinas for them. I was so proud to have them. Oh my god, an amazing quality. And in that fragrance, you know, like you get something like very nicely done. Really represents powdery, rosy softness, girly, delicate elegance of the ballet dancing. If you love cherry blossom, like, you know, those sakura tree, things like that, a bit this Japanese style, you're gonna love that. It smells a lot like cherry blossom, but mixed with pear. I never know how to say it. You can really smell that fruit in there. It's really present, and it's not something that is usual, like a slightly ambery tone, so it gives a bit of personality. But overall, if I would characterize this scent, is absolute cuteness, softness, romanticism, powderiness, lovely. It's just lovely. It makes me feel so girly. I love it. And it's got something that is nice, is this. So, you know, when you spray a fragrance, it's like peep ship. This one does that. A cloud. It's beautiful. Well, you have this. I love this sound. I don't know why. Number 3 is Balenciaga and it's Flora Botanica. I could never expect to see this in designer scent, because you know designer, they tend to be they want fragrance that are working, they want fragrance that are standing out with the other one, but you need to do something popular. So it's not often that you get something that goes directly to an opposite trend. And Balenciaga Flora Botanica is really like a green scent. It smells like the leaves, it smells nearly like you're walking in a garden. It's quite a wet, heavy scent, but very elegant. And I always feel that greenness on ladies gives a bit more of maturity and elegance. It's nice for all season, to be honest. And I feel like Balenciaga always know how to be creative in their fashion, but also on their fragrances. They've done something that is really interesting. It's got a bit of mintiness as well, so it's quite refreshing as well. It's relaxing. It's nearly like a, you know, a fig scent, really relaxing. There's no fig, but it smells. Number 4 is Prada Infusion d'Iris. So it's a fragrance that I really enjoy because you need to enjoy iris. Iris smell nearly violet-like and very powdery, and this is like a cloud of powderiness. It's nearly like a little tea done with iris. It's infused in it, and it's so beautiful. It's so elegant, but in a very delicate way. It's a casual chic outfit. You're going maybe a classy lunch, I would say. It also have that incensey vibe that is really increasing this powderiness. So if you like this smoky kind of tone with a floral and feminine approach, you're gonna enjoy this one. And I feel it's really nicely done, and for me, like, it's one of a good classic in the ladies range. Next one is Givenchy, and it's Eau Demoiselle. So that's a scent that I was sneakily spraying all the time when I was working in department store before. I just enjoyed it so much, and I remember like when I've seen the name, I was like, oh, it's gonna look like Coco Mademoiselle, like, you know, very flowery with a touch of citrus. No. It's more like a white flower, floral tone. Really that ylang ylang that gives a bright solar scent. It's got a bit of a touch of a vintage though. You need to enjoy something that is a bit the floral, as we were doing before, a bit more heavy floral. I feel that it's quite easy to wear. It's an effortless fragrance if you're looking for an everyday basics, but this one's got quite a nice personality with some musk and tonka bean, and you've got this amber that gives, I think, that vintage touch as well to the fragrance. But it's really interesting, and I would love to see it more often because usually it's a bit hidden. Number 6, I'm sorry, you're gonna hate me with this fragrance. I keep talking about it. It's a disease, but I love it so much. So it's called Balmain Ecstatic. So it's a fragrance I never see on top, and I'm like, why? And when I see the rating, I'm like, why? It's so nice. Oriental fragrance, sexy. You need to enjoy the pear again, so because this fruit is again here and you can really smell it, but it's got that rosy powdery tone, very like a pinkish color flower, smelling like cashmere. It's soft, it's silky, it's a silky dress. It's so sexy and refined. I had so many compliments because of this fragrance when I was wearing, because it leaves a very strong sillage. It's something that others can really smell around you. It's creamy sandalwood as well that gives a lot of sexiness. So compared to the one, that's a sexy for me. Thing complicated oriental fragrance, but it works. Sometimes I smell it and I'm like, why do you like it so much? It does nothing special. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm just attracted to it, okay? I think it's the pear, or mix it with the orchid, just Number 7 is Sisley, and it's Eau du Soir. So that's a classic. That's the ladylike madame. This is the elegance in a bottle. This is wealthiness. This is luxury, opulence. Like, you want to show off, but you want to show off a bit of very classy feeling. It's a classy lady, and I'm saying lady because for me it's a bit more mature scent. It doesn't fit a young person at all because it's heavy. You've got this green tone with juniper as well that is really there. The lots of patchouli, lots of iris. It's very intense, and it's got something like that is very intriguing. It's not usual. Even when I look at the ingredient breakdown, I cannot really describe it, but it does smell ultra ladylike. However, it doesn't smell that much vintage to me. It smells still classic, but it's something you can recognize, and really it's leaving a projection that is crazy, long lasting, crazy. But you need to enjoy to have this vibe a bit more daring. My mom is wearing it and it suits her divinely. Beautiful. I think it's you know, when Coco Chanel used to say that fragrance is your invisible accessory, well, definitely. I think you could just go out with this fragrance on you and that's done. Number 8 is Eau Parfumée Au Thé Blanc, and it's by Bulgari. So I love Bulgari fragrances. I own Omnia Indian Garnet. That is also a little secret summer scent that I really enjoy. But I have to say the tea collection is surprising and nice, and I really enjoy tea fragrances. It's not something you need to expect a lot of longevity. It's really here to soothe you, to have this very casual feeling, relaxing day. You just want to enjoy a comforting day. Quite nice for spring and summer because it's not too heavy as well. So you really smell that infused feeling with the tea. You've got a little bit of greeniness with Artemisia, spiciness. So the coriander is here, so it smells a bit yummy, and you have this white flower tone. That's why it's called Thé Blanc. You enjoy something feminine but not too much, and you want something that is not going to be too overwhelming. You don't want to show off that much, but you want something that just smells nice and clean. This one is really pretty. Number 9, one of my favorite Hermes fragrance. I talked about it a lot. I tell you already, the two last one I've talked about it a lot, but I think they're underrated, so they need my help. It's Kelly Kalesh. If you know Terre d'Hermès for men, this is one of my favorite men's fragrance. This one is basically a feminine version of it. Lots of leather, grapefruit, so it's very juicy, intense, acidic at the beginning, and then you've got this leather that is here, just like a handbag. Really makes me think of a scent you will smell you know, when you're horse riding, and the material smell a bit skin-like. This smell a bit skin-like as well, but with a lot of refreshing touch, a lot of spiciness. You've got a lot of flower as well, tuberose, rose, ylang-ylang, so it's really feminine, juicy. It smells like a very more acidic cocktail. To enjoy that intense brightness, nearly acidic with a green leaves undertone, and that's what I have with Kelly Kalesh, and I think it's so elegant as well. But compared to Sisley is the queen. Kelly Kalesh is more something elegant, but okay, relax, you know. And the last one is one of my favorite Oriental as well, and it's a Boucheron Place Vendôme, created by the master perfumer Olivier Crespe. That's a scent that I love and I don't see often wearing. First of all, the bottle is absolutely stunning. Smell Oriental but modern, and Boucheron always had like very classic fragrance like Jaipur and Boucheron Classic. This is bringing a touch of modernity into an oriental scent. Got a floral that have different facets, so it's very transparent. You can see it leaves a lot of light and a bit of spiciness. It smells that intense femininity that is here, and it's really nice. And it's not something that you will see in the trend nowadays, like, you know, nowadays you get the trend of something very sweet and blah blah. No, this is more like a floral oriental, a bit spicy and bright. Pearl that is very luminous, just like a diamond, diamond luminous flower. So classic and very elegant. Okay, so that's it for me. So that's the 10 fragrance I was thinking of as a bit underrated. And tell me in the comments which is your fragrance that you think is the most underrated one you have in your collection. I will be very curious to know. To thanks everyone that goes on my YouTube account to watch some free ads to support me. It's really appreciated. If you want to do so, the link is in the description box. Follow me if you didn't do it before. Leave me a little like and I will see you very soon. Bye now.